Hi, this is Mrs. Maholchek. I'm going to go over some problems from your review worksheet for your Module 3 retake test. So just to help you kind of solve a few problems. This video will cover taking a number in exponential form, changing it to radical form so that you can simplify. So say you have a problem such as 16 to the 4/3 power. So 16 is your base, 4/3 is your exponent. So we're going to change that first to radical form because right now it's in exponential form. Remember, when you have something in exponential form, you have a base and a power. When the power or the exponent is a fraction, you can change that to a radical. So here a is our base, m is our numerator, n is our denominator, and we're going to change it to radical form by writing a radical. Our base of a is going to become our radicand, what's inside the radical. M, our numerator, will become our exponent of our radicand. And n, our denominator, will become our index. So you can change from exponential form to radical form. Our 16 to the 4/3 power is in exponential form, so let's first change that to radical form. So we're going to have a radical. Our base of 16 will be our radicand, what's inside. 4, our numerator of our exponent, will be our new exponent. And 3, our denominator of our exponent, will become our index. So you read that as the third root or cube root of 16 to the 4th power. So we're going to go ahead and now simplify our radical. So I'm going to rewrite it down here. Third root of 16 to the 4th power. So when you have an exponent inside the radical, you want to first expand that exponent and see if you can pull anything out. So let's first expand 16 to the 4th power. So remember, sorry about that equal sign. So remember, 16 to the 4th power, that means 16 times 16 times 16 times 16. So 16 times itself 4 times. So all we're going to do is expand our exponent 16 to the 4th power as 16 times 16 times 16 times 16. And there you have 16 to the 4th power expanded. So remember, with radicals, you want to look at your index. Your index always tells you what groups you need to make in order to pull that number out. So our index of 3 tells us that we need a group of 3 to pull something out. So we have a group of 3 16s, right? So we circle our group of 3. That's what we're going to be pulling out. Whatever's left over, this other 16, that's going to stay inside. So when we rewrite this, we pulled out a 16 out of the radical, so now it's on the outside of the radical. Then we keep our index, it's still third root, and what's left over, we boxed, that stays inside. So we have 16 times the third root of 16. So we've simplified it a little bit, but we're not yet done. We can still simplify the third root of 16. So the way you do that is by breaking down or factoring the number inside. So 16 can be factored to 8 times 2, 4 times 4. It doesn't matter which way you go, as long as it multiplies to that number. You can factor anyway because you'll get the same prime numbers. So 16, I'm going to say 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. We can also factor or break down the 4s. 4 is 2 times 2, and again 2 times 2. So we factored 16. So let's rewrite 16 as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So I'm going to go over here and rewrite it. We have a 16 on the outside times the third root of, we said 16 can be written as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's 16. So remember, our index tells us we need a group of 3 to pull it out. So we have a group of 3 2s. So we can go ahead and pull out a 2. and then you have 1, 2 left over, so that stays inside. So this can be simplified as, remember we have that 16 on the outside. We pulled out a 2 from the group of 3. And then you multiply by the third root of whatever was left over was that last 2. So whatever you pull out, you're going to multiply on the outside. Whatever stays inside, you multiply on the inside. Well, 2 was the only thing left over, so you leave it as 2. But we can simplify 16 times 2. So that's going to equal 32 times the third root of 2. Because you can't break down 2 to anything that will factor into a group of 3, that is the most simplified you could get, third root of 2. So your answer is 32 times the third root of 2, and that's your answer. So remember, the first thing you want to do is change from exponential form to radical form. Your base becomes your radicand. Your exponent of 4 becomes our new exponent. Our denominator of 3 becomes our index. After we write it in radical form, we want to expand that exponent inside. So we had 16 to the 4th power, so we have 4 16s multiplying together. Your index indicates what group you need. So we need a group of 3. We had a group of 3 16s, so we pulled out a 16. And there was 1 16 left over, so that stays inside. Then again, factor that number to see if you can pull anything else out. So we saw that 16 broke down into 4 2s, which we could pull out a 2 from our group of 3 2s, and then 1 stays inside. And then all you have to do is simplify the outside, rewrite the radical. Hope that helps, guys.